Hi, my name is James Goodrich, and together with my husband, Jason Kramer, we are the Pamper Guys. As you can tell, I'm obviously not live right now. Like many of us in the direct sales industry, I have a regular job during the day, and so I am just not available to go live during this slot. If you want to comment or give me some feedback throughout the day, I'll be able to get back to you. So make sure you comment below, hashtag replay, so I know that you watched, and give me any questions you have and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Today, my topic is 5 tips on how to define your personal brand. And what do I mean by personal brand? Well, there's your company brand, whatever service you're providing or products you're selling, there's that brand, and then there's you. And you have your own brand, and there's a reason why you want to define that. As opposed to your company's brand like Nike or Starbucks or Target, those are brand names, those are brands. They are defined. When you go into one of those places, you know what you're going to get. It's pretty similar anywhere that you go across the country. There's a sameness to them. Challenge with us in direct sales is that we need to set ourselves apart a little bit so that customers come to us for those products. There's got to be a reason for a customer to decide to shop with you versus someone else who's selling the same product. So that's why we need to define our personal brand within the scope of our corporate brand of whatever product we're trying to sell. A good example, my husband and I, we are men who sell skincare products. That is interesting. We are not like the majority of the people in our industry. We stand out, and we use that difference and that uniqueness to our advantage in how we engage with customers and how we generate interest. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a different gender in whatever industry you're in, but there is something about you that makes you different than everyone else who's doing the same thing you are. And whatever that is what's going to help you be more successful. So why do you need to define it? Why can't you just be yourself and it all work out? Well, defining it helps you with content. Defining your brand helps you decide what you want to do next, and it gives you some direction. There's a lot of times, and a lot of people I know who they are great personalities and they can create a live or they can create a cool image and graphic and put it on social media, and it's really exciting, but they can't sustain that because they don't have a direction of what to do. When you define your brand, it allows you to come up with a plan for what you're going to do next. And it's really helpful when things get hard. I'm sure all of you have experienced sometime in your business a slump and a time where you've decided, oh, this is just a lot and I don't know what to do next. If you have a defined brand, it helps you get through that and gives you direction on what you can do next. If you've defined your brand, there's always something for you to fall back on. You just go back to your brand and you go, you know what? This is who I'm presenting to the world. I can talk about this topic within the scope of that brand, and it's going to lead me to an answer. It's going to lead me to a solution to get myself out of that funk, so to speak, of what you're in. So let's get down to it. Let's talk about these 5 tips that I have for you guys today. So tip number 1, go deep. And what I mean by going deep is that you need to define who you are and why you're doing this industry and why you're doing this business. It's more than that first answer you had when someone asked you why you want to jump into it. It's going to be not that superficial answer of like, oh, I want more money, or I wanted something to do in my free time. Those are answers. Those may be motivators, but they're not really why you want to do this. If you wanted more money, there's ways you probably could have gotten money faster, quicker, and easier than what you're doing now. But there's a reason that this industry pulled you into it, that you saw something that made you go, this is what's going to fit right for me. I know for myself, my motivator for why I do this, I didn't really define for like about a year. And what it is that I love to contribute. I want to help people be successful. That is the thing that drives me. And that drives me within this business because I get to help my teammates strive for success. And when they succeed, it fulfills me. And that is a need that I get out of running a direct sales business and having a team structure and working in network marketing that I didn't get when I was working in corporate America. I have a day job where I work in a business and there is enjoyment there, but it's not the same as what I get out of my personal business that I run with my husband. There's something there that's special that I am driven by, that it motivates me on a daily basis. So go deep. Find that reason for why you're doing this, because that's going to help you define what your brand is going forward. Tip number 2, who are your people? Who are the people you talk to? Who are your customers? Who is that group of people that is going to resonate with what you have to tell them and you're going to resonate with? There are people out there that you connect to who need the product or service that you're selling. You just have to find them. But to find them, you've got to know who they are. You've got to define, are they a certain age range? Are they a certain gender? Do they have certain life experiences? Find that, because that's going to help you determine what you're going to present to them in your business. I guarantee that when you define who your people are, it's going to make all of your choices with your business a lot easier, because your choices are going to be based around how you're going to serve them and give them value. Okay, tip number 3. This is a fun one, I think. It is phone a friend. So maybe you've kind of figured out who you are, you know who your people are, but now you want a little bit more definition of who this brand thing that you're going to do. A great tool is to ask your friends for some help. Ask them to tell you who they think you are. There's going to be things that they tell you that you think of differently once they tell you. So here's some ideas on how to do it. Text a couple of your friends and say, hey, send me 5 emojis that you think best describe me, or 5 adjectives, or shoot me a meme or a picture that you think best represents me, or and I'm going to caveat this, my best qualities, because you don't want them to tell you all the things that are bad about you. You want them to help you define what your best qualities are, because those best qualities are what you're going to use for your brand. You're going to use those, and you're going to emphasize those and heighten those as you decide who you are in the business space that you're working in. Okay, tip number 4, be intentional. You need to decide and be decisive on who you present to the world, and you need to do it with intent. If you don't decide who you're presenting to the world and how you're presenting your product or your service, guess what? Your customers are going to decide it for you, and it may not be what you want them to think. So be intentional. Define your brand. And here's the thing. With that intention, you can try different things out. You're not stuck with having one defined answer. You just have to decide what you're going to present and evaluate that. Evaluate that persona or that brand that you're presenting. So that experiment and that intentional experiment is going to give me information that tells me whether I should continue on that path or go on a different path and try something different. But it's with intention. It's not accidental. I'm not just throwing things on the wall and hoping they stick. I am making choices based on the information that I've gathered from my people and things that I know from my friends, what they say about me. And I'm going to try some different things out, but I'm going to do it with intent, because I want to define who my brand is. I don't want my customers or the world around me to define what that is, because I want to define that. That's why I'm doing this business. That's why I own this business, because I want it to be what I want it to be. I don't want it to be what someone else tells me. If I wanted that, have someone else be my boss, and I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't be in this industry. Tip number 5. This is my favorite. You don't need to change who you are. You just need to define who you are. And that's a very big distinction, because I think sometimes people think when they hear branding that it's a persona or it's something that they have to pretend to be that's not who they are inside, and that they have to be fake or phony or be salesy. That's my favorite one, salesy. When you define your brand and you define your personal brand, you're just taking the things that already exist within you and you're just turning the volume up a little bit. And you're making sure that what you're presenting to the world is you, but it's the best version of you, or it's a specific version of you. It's not someone else. It's not someone you're not. It's who you are, and it's who you have been your whole life. You're just using that person who you are to resonate with the people who you want to buy your products, because at the end of the day, you want to get sales. You want people to buy your products or your service. And so you've got to meet their needs, and you got to provide value to them, and you've got to be someone there that is accessible to them. So you need to take the inherent personality traits that you have in your business and just turn them up a little bit, so that they maximize that energy that you have and connect best with your customers. The other thing is, if you try to be somebody you're not, it's really hard to sustain, because it's kind of like lying. Like, it just kind of stacks upon itself and stacks upon itself. And it's a really labor intensive part of running a business, is trying to be a persona. But if you're yourself, and maybe just a heightened version of yourself, you can turn it on for 15-20 minutes. You don't have to always be at that level, but it's still a version of you. It's not somebody else that you have to invent every time, and it doesn't take as much energy, because it really is you, and you're connecting with your people, and they resonate with that because it is you. There's an authenticity about it, because you're you. You're just deciding the you you're presenting in a way that successfully leverages your personality traits and your customers' needs and wants, that will generate them purchasing whatever it is you're offering to sell. So here, again, just a quick rundown. Here are my 5 tips for you in helping you define your brand. Number 1, go deep. It's more than just the superficial. There's a reason why you chose this industry, and it's deeper than you may even want to admit, but it's there. Number 2, identify your people. Who are the people you're going to talk to? Who are the people who need the service or product that you're offering? Number 3, if you need some help, phone a friend. Ask your friends and family to give you some insight on what they think of you. And from that, you can move forward, and you can say, I don't like what they said here, but I kind of like this, and I didn't ever think about that. But that's another way of getting out of just your head and coming up with ideas, and letting other people help you come up to those answers. Number 4, be intentional. Make choices and try them out. You're not beholden to those choices. I mean, you are a little bit, but you don't have to stay with those choices. If they don't work, move on, but make sure you're doing it with intent. And the last one is, you already have it. You just need to be you. You just need to define the parts of you that are going to resonate the best with your customer base. You don't have to pretend to be someone different. You don't have to create someone else that isn't you. You just need to be you. You need to find the things about you that are special, because you already are special. There's somebody out there who's going to resonate with who you are, what you have to tell them, and how you're going to express it with them. And you have to believe in that and find that, and just use that inherent power that you have in yourself to find your success. Okay, so now what are you going to do with all this information? Spend some time with yourself. Take some time with yourself. Maybe you like being alone, maybe you like to be where it's loud, whatever, but take some time with this information and really dive in and define who you want to be and how you want to present you and your business to the world. Define that brand so that you are able to move forward, as opposed to getting stuck because you don't know where to go. So now you've got this information, you're gonna take some time and figure these things out. Go rock this last quarter of the year, and I wish you all the best of success. If you have any questions or comments, or you want any more feedback, make sure to comment in the comment thread here. I will be checking it throughout the day, and I wish you all the best. Good luck.